I'm Ode. That's Vicky. I'm me. You're you. We are we.
Oh my god, that was so corny.
The You, Me, We
goodness.
podcast. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the You, Me, We podcast. I'm Ode.
I'm Vicky.
And we have some special guests, guestesses in the studio today, this afternoon, whenever you're listening to it. So we'll go around the room. Ladies first. Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Belgie.
You, Me, We podcast alumni.
Yeah.
You may remember Belgie from episode some number, which was, the topic was...
It was beauty standards.
Standards
Yeah.
of beauty. Yes. Just raise your mic up, facing you a little bit. There you go. So, beauty standards. And we also have our next guest.
I'm Alonzo.
Kept you like, I'm Alonzo. Kept it cool. You know that one dude in the 90s R&B group? He don't sing. Like he just come in that last part like, girl,
Oh yeah, he does that. Yeah, the deep voice talk over.
I see you ain't happy with your man. So I just thought you need some Lonzo in your life. Hit it, Wanye.
What?
Never mind. Wanye, Boys to Men.
Oh dang.
Come on. Anyway.
Like we're gonna go over this like all the
We know
time.
Vicky
Like
just watched Salvador Gigante all day, never listened to Boys to Men.
I literally did not speak English until I was like 10.
So Vicky, what are we talking about today and why do we have our special guest here?
Okay, so we are doing a 3-part series. I don't know if it's gonna be 3-part back to back because episode 50 will not be the topic of the side chick.
Oh yeah.
So pretty much we want to have a all-inclusive, I guess, gender neutral, all-inclusive conversation regarding cheating or infidelity or whatever nice word you want to use. Part 1 would be with people who have cheated on others. Part 2 is people who have been cheated on. However, while our guest today may not be shy, I think for that episode, they've already requested in advance. Like, I need you to change my voice. No cameras on. Nobody got to know it's me.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Faces all blurred out.
Yeah.
It's like-
Yeah. We're about to have like an episode of like Gangland.
It would be like it would be on the camera. It's like the smallest, obviously a female talking, and the voice is like, "Yeah, I cheated in the past."
So yeah, that episode 2 would be, well, the second part of it would be people who have been cheated on, male and female perspectives, and part 3 would be the people who participated, who willingly participated, being the person that was cheating with, being the side piece.
Side piece, yeah.
The willing participant
Proud
of the
side
piece.
pieces.
Yeah,
We've all
yeah.
been there, right?
So,
Anybody who said they've never been a side piece, they're lying.
so this is part 1 of it. And the discussion is not like, oh, let's spill tea. Like, what was the craziest thing you've done? It's really having a healthy dialogue about it. So I don't even know what's like the best way to start because I feel like there's like a million ways to start.
Here's the general question. Here's a general question that a lot of people have. Why do people cheat?
Yeah.
Automatically, some will say, "Oh, well, people cheat because, because they're not happy in their relationship," or
Oh, yeah, I've
or
heard
or the
that.
person who's being cheated on will say, "Well, you cheated because, you're not happy with me," something like that.
Yeah.
So, I guess we go around the room. Why do people cheat?
I think people cheat because people are trying to satisfy an insecurity within themselves. Who's next?
I'm like, okay. I'll be honest. I feel like there's people who feel like that answer is, people automatically feel like that answer is like a cop-out.
It's not.
For those who strongly feel like, hey, you cheated on me because you're not happy with us. Because it's to me, that's the obvious first response. Like, you cheated, you stepped out on your relationship because you're not happy with the current relationship. So when somebody tells you, or somebody tells you, it's not you, because that's what we're hearing. It's not you, it's me. You're like, well, you cheated on me. Like, you cheated on me. It's something to do with me and us.
The cop out is not I'm really insecure and I need whatever in this area. Like, that's not a cop out. The cop out is passing it off. Like, you weren't nice to me, so I had to go find someone who gave me more hugs. Like, whatever bullshit.
Like, I needed more hugs.
Yeah.
That's why I leave you because you didn't hug me enough.
And you know what? Feel free to insert hugs with whatever you want. So I'm pretty sure somebody has heard that shit or said it. So
Yo, somebody right now is like, yo, he really left me because I ain't hugging me enough. Yo,
I mean, it'd be like that sometimes
It really-
in certain relationships.
some dude with his boys right now. Yo, she hugged me twice a week, dog. You know how I get down. Oh, a man's supposed to survive. No, I'm joking. All right.
So what do you guys
Belgie,
think?
why do people cheat?
Well, at least from my own experience,
Right.
I can I'll say that I just wasn't happy in the relationship, and I didn't have the courage, I guess, to be like, I was comfortable in that relationship specifically, and I didn't have the courage to be like, yo, I'm not, like, it was weird. Like, I you're comfortable, you don't kind of want to leave the situation, but then you're not happy. So then you kind of just like, and in my case, it was one of those situations where, we had an on and off kind of thing, and then met someone in between, and then kind of feelings stayed with that other person. So it was more of a confusion level, and then not wanting to leave this comfortable space that you had already become accustomed to, while also not feeling confident enough to be like, you know what, I'm going to leave this person and go be with this other person who's probably not the best fit either. So,
But that person gonna hug you 4 times a week. Yeah.
Right.
yeah.
Who
So
don't like hugging mad times a week?
So like on my end, at least from my experience, it was definitely a level of just not being happy, but also not being confident enough to be like, I'm going to leave this situation that's not serving me. But I guess just like fear of leaving a situation, but then also just like, you know what, I'm going to low key do what
I want to do anyways.
So, yeah.
They remind me of those people who, I guess, situations where you see somebody or you know somebody's cheating, and you can see friends and family, their response is like, yo, why would you step out on this person? She treats you so well, or he treats you so well, he does this, does that. And I guess the person doesn't want to leave that, like you said, that comfort. They don't want to leave that good situation, but they're not fully happy. So comfortable versus happy. So they will go left to find the other stuff like Vicky said, but there's those other things that help with their comfort. So you keep that person around. Because now you got to find somebody else to cook and do your laundry and stuff or whatever, if that's what it is that was keeping you there. But it stood out to me when you say, I guess, comfortable versus happy. And it could be 2 different things.
Yeah, because you can be, you become comfortable with anything, even in a space that's not necessarily healthy. Like that'll, your I guess like your brain, you condition your brain kind of just like, that's what you know kind of thing, And then even though it's not a healthy situation, it's not a healthy space, and anything really, like you become comfortable in that. So it can become difficult to like dissociate yourself from a space that you became comfortable, even if it's not, serving you healthy, whatever the case may be. So it's like anything, just trying to remove yourself from a comfortable space that's can be, it's more difficult for others. So
Alonzo, why do women cheat? Because as we all know, as the great prophet Lil Duval once said,
oh God,
black men don't cheat. So
God.
we're just here to find, we're here to get info on this whole cheating thing that apparently people do.
Okay.
And just to add on what she just said, and I think it's also too, some of us don't know how to be alone.
That too.
So we'll sit in something because we cool. But to be by yourself and discover who you are, that's a whole different topic. Myself, I cheated because I was greedy and selfish. I wanted to keep my family here, and I wanted to keep this here and try to balance it off. So that was my reason. And not having discipline as well.
I feel like this episode, whether it's us or listeners, is going to have a lot of that old black lady in church moment. We're going to be like, Because just now when Alonzo said that, we all were like,
No, when he said about not knowing how to be alone, I thought of someone. So that's why I was like,
you got triggered?
Well, I can relate to that because
no, I know someone that needs to listen to that.
A lot of people need to listen to that because even on my end, that was part of it too. Like, I had never really. I got so used to being with someone for so long that it's like the thought of being alone was very scary for me, especially because this person became kind of like
Part of you,
my person, like it was like family almost. So it's just like the thought of having to be without that person, to be without that relationship, to be without that chemistry, whatever, like that was very scary, especially when I knew the other person wasn't a safe choice, if you want to call it that. So it's almost like, okay, what do I do? It's like, all right, I'm just going to keep this. And then, so it definitely is part, I mean, on my end, at least, it was part of being scared of being alone. So
is there more to that than we think? The whole, like, not knowing how to be alone? Like, is there more to that we should be looking, like, deeper into it?
What do you mean exactly?
Because some of us can do it. Some of us can be alone. Some of us can be alone for, single for years, while some of us, will go from relationship to relationship a month or a couple of days in between. And we'll just see it as, you gotta know how to be alone. But is there more to it where, like, you have to be trained in that as you grow up? Is it is it deeper than just, the person can't be alone? Like, is there more to it that we've never looked into? Because some of us can do it. Like I said, some of us can go mad long being single, and some of us can't. Is it like how I was raised?
I think how you're raised definitely comes into play. I think the relationship that you have at home with your family, especially with your parents, definitely is crucial in how you're going to deal with relationships when you grow up. Because I just like looking at myself, I feel like that's where a lot of my own kind of like issues, if you would, come from. Like, there's certain, like, my parents raised me to be a decent human being, of course, but in terms of like the showing love aspect and whatnot, like there definitely wasn't too much of that. Same. So I know for myself in relationships, which I've realized now as I've gotten older, it's like, you kind of tend to look for what you lack, for what you didn't have growing up. You kind of push for that in like relationships. So I definitely think that how you were raised, the kind of love that you received or didn't receive growing up definitely affects you in relationships.
So for listeners, Belgium is saying next time you cheat on somebody and they say, well, how could you do that? Like, God, come on, you know how I was raised? My mom and my dad weren't together. That's why I did this.
Oh, God.
It's not because you only hugged me twice a week. I mean, that played a part, but my mom and dad didn't raise me well, so I'm sorry.
Oh,
No, but actually it's funny because I thought of, and kind of go back to the whole just cheating in general. Recently, I guess Charlamagne the God's been on like 2 or 3 shows where he mentioned how his dad pretty much told him, like, you're gonna cheat, like that's what we are supposed to do or something like that. So I guess it does play a part,
So that's interesting because I did hear that while you were listening to it, but it made me think of the other end. So growing up in I guess in like I can only speak for my culture. So growing up in a Dominican culture, the women are expected to be super obedient, super, I don't know the polite way to say it.
Submissive?
We're supposed to serve men.
Yeah, we're supposed to be the doormats and the submissive, and you just take, and you're supposed to be the woman of the house. And then so growing up in the American culture, which is like, it's like, I hate to say it, it's like fuck bitches get money kind of shit. I'm like, you know what? I wanted to rebel against the culture that was expecting me to literally just lie down and take it kind of thing as a woman. And I was just like, no, I'm not, I don't want to be anything that you expect me. So it was like, and I growing up, I got a lot of that, like, oh, you're so loud, you're so whatever. And it's because they were comparing it to the women in their lives, which is like, you're not supposed to be loud like men, you're supposed to be quiet, and you're so whatever. So I think that in the other end of it does play a part too, like when you want to rebel against, when you selfishly want to rebel against what is expected of you. So like how his father kind of told him, like, you're gonna cheat, and so he just believed into it. I feel like on the other end, you want to rebel when you feel like it's not going to serve you a purpose. So, I mean, all in all, I feel that cheating is a selfish thing, and I feel like nobody says that though. Like, no, I've never heard, like, it was always I'm gonna pass it off to you, like yo, you just wasn't making me happy, like, you fight too much. I don't know. I mean, I've heard some stupid shit.
I was like, at me next time.
Honestly, Vicky, I did all of that.
That's crazy. I did that.
Because I was always observing, trying to, what you're doing wrong, you trying to put it on you.
Yeah.
Well, whatever the case was. And I did all that. But I didn't discover that until I sat with myself.
Yes.
And sitting, I got 3 daughters. So listening to
Look
them.
At God.
You know what I'm saying?
For real.
Listening to them. And my wife telling me, how they felt and things of that nature. And it's like, man, crying. Constantly crying. Because now I feel their pain.
Yeah.
Because you wasn't thinking about it when you was out there when I was enjoying myself.
Mm-hmm.
So when you sit with yourself, you're like, man, it was horrible. I'm going to give you an incident. This is when, what's the movie with Fences?
Yeah.
With Denzel Washington.
Dope movie.
And he was pretty much, telling the wife what happened. And she was like, yo, I've been with you for 18-something years. Da-da-da-da. I'm like,
mm-hmm.
And then after, we just had a little, why do men cheat? And I'm like, all men don't cheat. That's the defensive side. That's the ego kicking in. I ain't want to explain that to them. Then going to counseling, when the counselor asks, is there somebody else? I got my daughters right. I'm like, no. Just because they already crying. So I didn't want to add on to it. You know what I mean? So then I'm in counseling now. Go every 2 weeks. So now, because when I went back to my counselor, my therapist, I told her I wasn't honest with you in the beginning. So she said, are you going to be honest with me? I said, yes. And that was me taking ownership of what I did.
And that's hard.
And that was hard. Just even to sit and tell your lady what you did. Who was this person? And you seeing them cry, because normally when you having a conversation with your lady and she crying, that throws you off. You know what I mean? That throws you completely off. But, I stayed in the situation. I just kept telling her what happened, why, things of that nature. So, yeah. And I think, too, our culture's been tampered with. We took more of a westernized ways of how we do and treat our women because they're not used for doormats. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to take care of a home. You know what I'm saying? It's hard. The way how they take care of a house and it's totally different. Like, you got to actually watch them. Like, when you're dealing with Kyle, how she do that? Okay, all right. Because then she out. Do it different. Hey, how you make this milk?
No, you're right.
You know what I mean? So it's different. You know what I'm saying? So you have to watch them. You know what I'm saying? And it's not a thing of do women cheat better? We all do it.
We all, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We put those things that, they do it. You just don't know they doing it.
I hate that argument.
Okay.
That's so. I'm like, it doesn't matter.
But
you're taking away from the point.
But I'm gonna throw a button in it. But what about that whole thing of, okay, not that they cheat better, but there's different levels of cheating or different ways.
Cheating is cheating.
Cheating. Because a sin is a sin.
Cheating.
There's nothing higher than the other.
That's
how I see it.
Because cheating is cheating. Because betrayal is betrayal.
Absolutely.
Like, it doesn't matter. You don't have to sleep with someone to consider it cheating. You don't have to just kiss someone to consider it cheating. And I get what you're saying, that like maybe women do more of an emotional, because that's what I've heard. Women do more of an emotional cheat, and that's why they could hold on longer. And men, but it doesn't matter, because the person that's being affected by your cheating, that's how they receive it anyway. So whether the guy is removed from that person and they just like them for sex or whatever, the woman or their significant other, if it's a woman, they're going to see their action through their eyes, which is the emotional way. Like, it doesn't matter who's detached and who's not.
But that stab to the heart, that knife goes in deeper when, or you cheated on me with somebody that I feel is not as attractive as me, or you cheated on me with somebody that that I knew or that we know, or you cheated on me. So to me, there's different things about the situation
that can make things worse.
Make it
absolutely,
stab a
for
little harder.
Oh no, absolutely. That just increases the levels of exactly what.
But as well as the whole like, oh, you and him or you and her just kind of hooked up. Damn, I'm mad. Or you and him, or you're emotionally invested in this guy or girl you cheat on me with. Then it's like, oh, so there's, and I guess men feel like, some people feel like women are more prone to do the whole like get emotionally attached to the person they're cheating on with.
We do it too.
Yeah.
Listen.
Come on, yo,
guys have absolutely gotten.
Why gotta bring you here, bro?
Let me tell you something. Gotta keep it 100, man.
Yeah.
I had a friend of mine.
You act like it's only women leaving their families.
I had a friend
for real. Someone else. Like, that ain't just sex at that point.
Yo, there's a whole song talking about that we don't cheat.
Because I'm emotional. I was I didn't have a father now. So I was raised by my mother, grandmother, and aunts. So I'm very in tune with my emotions. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's a whole nother topic.
Oh, that is a whole nother topic. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because why are you so hard, bro? What's wrong with you? Men don't know how to express themselves. Some jokers don't cry. I heard women take them out, don't cry. You ain't supposed to cry. Boys don't cry. That's a lie. That's a human emotion. We all have it. You know what I mean? It's not a woman does. Nah, man.
Life Jennings, cry.
Exactly, and it helps. It helps. It really does. It helps to cleanse things away. That's my thinking. But it's that thing. Oh, they born sneaky. No, man, it worked both. I had a friend of mine. That's what I wanted to say. And he played this role. Yeah, I could do this. I got chicks over here, da-da-da. But then when we would talk, he asked me about the girl. Any dudes you seen her with other dudes? What you worrying about that for? Men, we try to portray that role amongst each other. Mm-hmm. But when he by himself, whole different ball game. He pillow talking. He doing all that. Doing all that.
Men talk
dudes
just
is chatty
as much
patties.
as females.
Thank you, sis.
Chatty patties.
Yes.
Chatty patties.
Quite ridiculous.
We are. Especially then what you're telling these women, what you're promising them. Yeah, I'm going to leave, I'm going to be with you, da-da-da-da. We do all of that. We do it all. It just, I'm going to say this, and I might say ignorant. Women, if she's cheating, let's just say hypothetically, she'd come home, do the same thing, cook, clean, everything be together. She done been with a guy, right? Give you a kiss on the cheek, whatever. Hey, baby, how was your day? Us, we'd crack up. I just ain't gonna take a shower.
See what you walk in the house.
His routine is thrown off. Well, she could just, hey, you doing? Everything good? You all right? Smooth. And we just crack up. I was terrible. First of all, I was a horrible cheater. I was horrible. I got caught. I'm driving to the spot. I'm looking around. I was terrible. Parked the car on the other side. The apartment complex. All that. Chick come out. Where the car at? It's on the other side. Why you park it there? I said, come on, you know what it is. Don't do that.
You know what it was when you signed up.
Yeah,
come on, man.
See, I never got caught.
Damn.
Like, as you said,
I never got caught.
Because women will, that extra little evil gene that they got, they're able to just turn it off, and they can just,
how they are,
and they perfect with it.
But see,
we actually felt some guilt.
Well, that doesn't mean I didn't feel any guilt.
Absolutely.
I felt very guilty.
I was just able to brush it aside.
I felt very guilty, but at least I like on my end, like I didn't say anything out of fear, because like the person I was with was a little, wasn't all up there, So I was like, if I say something, I don't know what's actually gonna happen. But a part of me does feel like a bit of a fraud in a sense, because it's just, you really should be honest about those things,
Yeah.
Especially if it happened and then you guys stay together and then, whatever, like that's something that you should really be honest about, because then it's like the thing kind of becomes, in a sense, kind of like a lie almost, because it's like you're walking around with this thing that you did, and here they have this impression of you that's not necessarily real at that point, So, yeah, I never said anything.
the one time I cheated, and I've been the other person. I've cheated on somebody one time. I'm gonna keep putting that one time. The next day, like I came clean because I had that guilt. Mind you, like I wasn't gonna see the person for like another couple days, But I called him the next day, and I was just like it was killing me, yo. Like there was no way. I knew there was no way I would have been able to continue like normal and do my normal routine and be like, hey, what's up, man? Like give him a hug, you know. I was like, yo, I gotta come clean.
Well, you know what? To add to that, like for me at least, it was more of like at that point, our relationship had been, you know, it wasn't the best relationship, you know? And at that point, I had endured so much that I guess a part of me was like, I don't really care. Like, I didn't care at that point to, like...
But that's crazy that you would then still stay if you didn't care.
Well, that's...
Because of the comfort.
Exactly.
There's a saying in Spanish. They're like, el costumbre es más fuerte que el amor.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is like...
comfort is stronger than love, basically.
Not comfort, costumbre, habits.
Oh, yeah.
A habit is stronger than love.
I agree.
Because and then like that would sum up when I first heard that. Dominican as hell and atypical. So anybody that just heard me say that knows exactly what song I'm talking about. So I then looked at, you know, the men and women in my family and my friends' parents and stuff, and I was like, holy shit, that is exactly what they're living. They're just together out of habit and not out of love, because they're just like, we're already here. And you don't even know how many times I've heard parents say to their children, or, you know, more specifically, like mothers say to their daughters, in my culture, like, oh, so-and-so cheated. Like, girl, just stay. You're just going to leave them so the next one could do it to you? Like, at least you're already here. Just stay with this one. And I've heard that countless. Like, I mean, I can't even count on one hand how many times I've heard my friends tell me their mothers told them that. That's crazy. And I it's crazy, but if I grew up in DR, I don't think it would be crazy. No. Because that's not a foreign concept over there. Like over there, it's like men cheat, that's what they do. And then it's just kind of like you just have to take that. And then if you're a woman that was cheating, then you need Jesus. No, and literally. You need to be saved. And we need to perform an exorcism because you clearly have the devil inside of you. Because how could you, you whore? Like, that is how it is. But when it's men and they have, like, 5 different families spread all out DR, it's like...
5, is that all?
It's like... But he's a man. What like you want him to do? He's a man.
See, I think about my own father, our own fathers, and, like...
Yeah, I was like, I think we should do an hour.
No, and then, like, how they grew up because, like, Papa... his grandfather, like, they all cheated. They all had, like, what I think our parents' freaking grandfather, like, married someone, then freaking got with the sister, got her pregnant.
Isn't there, like, 20 plus of them?
Yeah. Got with the other sister, got her pregnant. Like, you know, it's, like, so common. Yeah. Like, so then they see that growing up, and they're like, and then the women stay, so they're like,
and so they know
I guess this is what I'm going to do, too,
they
you
expect. Know? But then now that we're here in United States, I feel like we just like carry that in us, and like we still use that as an excuse, even though we know better. We should be doing better, and we just use it as a crutch. And I feel like it's such a long journey from cheating and from growing up from that, like truly maturing from that habit, because it really is a point of self-reflection, like yo, what the hell is wrong with me that I constantly need to screw myself over all the time? Like it's crazy. To me, I've never met a cheater that was a good cheater, because everybody gets caught. Like, whether it's because they find out that you had a family, or it doesn't matter, eventually you get caught, or eventually you just have to own up to that shit. So like we've grown up seeing it always fall apart. We all know this, and yet those of us that do it still do it, thinking that we're just gonna be like the smoothest one ever.
We're gonna have a different outcome.
Yeah,
we all know at least one or two people that make it look easy.
Yeah,
we all know at least somebody that, yo, me and my girl happy. I know a couple people who I'm like, yo, how have you not been caught yet? You're happily married or whatever. I'm just like, damn. it can be done. There's some people that have shown it can be done.
So.
I got some friends. I'm like, yo,
I think
you
people
nice
I mean,
with it.
eventually, you
happen,
get caught. Whether it takes 10 years, you get caught eventually.
Yeah.
Eventually, you always get caught. I feel like that's just the way that it always goes down.
And like the only way you don't get caught is if the other person just refuses to believe anything that's being told to them,
or
which happens. I've seen that happen. Like people will tell them like, "Yo, your man was hitting on me, whatever," and they're like, "No, you're just a hater."
You're like,
so
yo,
I've seen
here's a
that
picture of
too.
us having sex. Like, this is it.
And they're like, "Okay,
You
Photoshop."
photoshopped. Haters gonna say that.
Yeah, haters gonna say it's Photoshop.
Because it is.
Because that has happened too. People that lie and Photoshop
Yeah.
a bunch of shit. So that's the only time I've seen people get away with it. And even then, I just feel like eventually that person, maybe they won't believe, but they're tired of the drama. They're tired of people telling them things. And
So even though, like I said, even though I've seen some people from what I would call perfected it, people get caught, but people stay. Clearly, we either didn't want to be there or we had some self-esteem issues. Oh, it's all of a sudden fixed. We all of a sudden want to be here, and then we stay. Is it because of the habit thing, or here was our chance to, be like, you know what? I got caught. Clearly, I wasn't happy for whatever reasons. Let me go, but we still stay. And then sometimes, what? We do it again, because you pretty much just told me you'll take me back. Like why do we stay?
I really think it's a habit thing. It truly is a habit thing, because like, at least with like the person that I cheated with, like I knew this person was not relationship material. Like they were not relationship material. They clearly showed that. Yes, there was a a mental connection, but our strongest suit was just the sexual connection. So it's like, okay, I know you're not relationship material. I know at the end of the day you're not going to take this seriously. I still want because I still wanted a relationship. I like that whole dynamic, what I was in terms of the routine, I guess, that we had up until that point. So it was like, okay, I'm gonna, stay here. Like I said, out of comfort, out of the habit, out of just getting that part of a relationship that I wanted, that I knew at the end of the day I wasn't going to get from this other person who really was just giving me what I needed sexually and emotionally to a certain extent, because it's like, for me at least, in terms of that whole women kind of just cheat, like emotionally, like sexually I can't, if there's no emotion there, like,
yeah,
there's
for
no,
some women,
for some women, yeah, like there's no point in continuing that relationship. So it was like, you get one thing in one relationship, and while you get the other one in the other. So I truly do think it's kind of just like a habit thing as to why you cheat, but then you stay.
I feel like, yeah, people cheat because they're trying to fulfill parts of that they're missing in their relationship. But like, why is it easier for us to cheat than to just have that conversation?
It's like the whole time.
Even if that's an awkward ass conversation, because it is. Like having to sit across someone and be like, yo, sexually, you are not doing it for me.
I guess.
Right now. And just like, that's crazy that we would be like, yo, I'd rather just toss a coin and just pray that everything doesn't blow up in my face. But I'm just going to go cheat instead of just having this conversation and like bringing that issue to the table, because that's really the grown-up thing to do.
I'll be honest.
He's like,
I know what you're about to say. I was gonna reference it and see if you bring it up.
I'll be honest, because like before, like I mean, I don't ever condone cheating. Even after doing it, it's not something I'm like, yo,
yeah, like yo, you gotta go do that. You got a main?
No,
yo, you gotta get you a side, bro.
I'm good
You're
at
not
it,
living
but
life.
I don't condone
Like honestly, I personally thought I would never be the one to cheat, especially because I'm like truly so against it. But being in certain situations, things happen, and it happened.
We're human. And we all fall.
Yeah. So like now I find myself in this position where it's like I find myself kind of doing the fucked up things that were done to me. So it's like having to confront that part of yourself.
See, it always goes back to yourself. That's why I was saying
it's not
a cop out to say it's not you, it's me.
That's take your baggage somewhere else.
It's very nerve-wracking, because then it's like you're in a position where you're gonna be forced to deal with that part of yourself that you don't necessarily want to deal with.
And let me tell you, you would still rather open Pandora's box of all your freaking horrible life decisions, because that's just a spiral effect. Like, you start out cheating, and then everything,
it
like,
opens the door for everything else, and you're
and
like,
it's
fuck.
like you're just making horrible decisions continuously because you just can't stop.
Next thing you know, you got
And-
a cocaine needle in your
Yeah.
all
But, like,
because you
you're
cheated
just
that one time. That's where
you're
it
like
ends.
you're like spiraling, and you don't notice it until shit's really going
Yeah.
crazy. And
Yeah.
you're like, oh my God, I brought all of this onto myself, which again just goes right back to you. But it's crazy that even knowing, like, even having that awareness, like, yo, this is not the happiest form of the life that I want to live, but I'm still gonna do it anyways because I'd rather choose short. What is that? That
Short-term
millennials.
fix?
No, that millennials always get blamed from.
Everything.
Short-term
No.
satisfactory.
Yeah, like just having that instant satisfaction. Like,
Oh, instant gratification.
yeah, that instant gratification, as opposed to just reflecting on yourself and fixing that and having that conversation, not even with someone else, just having the conversation with yourself. Like, you rather do the instant gratification, the cheating, the bad decisions, everything that brings you joy for a short time, instead of going like, yo, I gotta stop because in the long term, I know that I'm gonna be not happy.
Then that becomes a habit.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, you start here and then you just don't even notice it, and
And
you're
then getting out of that
spiraling.
habit becomes difficult.
Yes.
Every once in a while, Alonzo and I will have conversations when we have some free time, and there was one that always stayed with me. It was a conversation we had dealing with honesty, and I thought about it while you guys were saying that, and we all say we want honesty in a relationship, but yo, as
The
dumb as
moment
this
you
sounds,
get it.
this sounds not even when you get it. Yo, it's hard to be honest.
Yeah, it is.
Facts.
Why is it so hard for us to be honest? To have an honest conversation.
Well, actually,
with
I had a question for him prior to that, which is your question, actually. Why would cheaters stay if they know they're gonna keep cheating? Like, they've been confronted.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take you back. We're gonna work on this. And you're like, great. And you're like, I'm still see you, right? Aye.
It's like, oh, you're like, that worked? Oh, snap. This
Yeah,
girl
like,
is
why cheaters
gullible.
stay when they know they're gonna cheat again, or right when that temptation comes forward, they take it knowing what they just did.
Again, you stay because, you want to try to make it better. That's for me. Once it came down, mine came out last year. So I just wanted to, be there, not only for myself, but for my family, my children.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because, my wife, she, same situation. Pops left at a real young age. And I didn't want that. So I was always the one that would reach out to the young lady I was dealing with. She would never. It was always me. I'll break it off. Then I'll go a while. You get that itch. Send a long paragraph text. And I'll slide right back over there.
Wow.
So this time it was different. This is why I got a counselor. You know what I'm saying? Therapist for myself. And just for me, for dealing with my past life issues. Things that I was dealing with. Because, again, it had nothing to do with her. Nothing. It was all me. So she stayed because she was strong. I told her, I said, that was me. I wouldn't have stayed. And I know that's crazy, but I wouldn't have stayed, but she was strong. And I don't mean you weak. You know what I'm saying? You really, she honored the vows more than I did. I didn't honor the vows. You know what I mean? So that's what it was. And being honest, too, is, I think we was taught that as children, to lie.
Mm-hmm.
Holidays. Oh, Santa Claus, you ain't got no chimney, so how he get in the house? Oh, he got a magic key. So these little things, we was taught to lie when we was little.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then when the child does it, you get mad, but you taught him this.
Yeah. But Mom, where the gift that Santa brought? Shut up with that Santa stuff. You ain't have no money this year.
You know what I'm saying? So we was taught that. So and I
Wow.
had friends that was honest, like, oh, she's very blunt, and I like people like that. Because she's going to tell you exactly how she feels. Those people we looked at as crazy. But you had to respect that because they're telling you generally how they feel. This is what it is. I'm putting it on the table. And then when we're dating, there's certain questions we don't ask. Because my wife told me, nobody never asked me that. How many men you was with? This is what I asked.
We had a conversation about that.
You know what I'm saying? How was the sex? What made you, y'all break up? These are the things I asked. And she thought it was weird. But she didn't tell me that in the beginning. She told me after the fact. You know, she said, everything you asked, it was weird. I never had no man ask me that. You know what I mean? But I wanted to know. So that was it.
It made me think of, like, that scene in Fences when he told her.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was hard to watch. Cause I'm feeling bad for him. I'm like, oh, don't tell. It was cringeworthy.
Because now he got a baby.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and there was a situation, a friend of mine tell me about a friend of hers,
I've never seen
married
it.
man.
Never seen it?
No, now I gotta watch it.
You gotta watch it.
I gotta watch it now.
Yeah, and the wife knew it. She felt it. What's up with you and her? No, ain't nothing wrong. Ain't nothing wrong. Nothing's wrong. Ain't nothing going on. Baby came up. DNA test pops up. Oh, I loved you, but nah, bro. Nah. That's what he told the wife. I loved you. I lied to you because I love you. Nah.
Yeah,
Nah, bro.
people have seen.
Cut that out.
Yeah, like I've heard that too. Like I've heard the whole like, oh, I lied to you because I love you. I care about your feelings.
That's
like,
just another
yeah,
cover
but you
up for
didn't-
selfishness.
Yeah, like no, that's a cop out.
Yeah.
I lied to you because I love you and I wanted to protect your feelings. Like, well, you know, you could have protected it by just not cheating.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
And it goes back to that Donald Jones song. He told his girl, hey, listen, I'm going to break up with you because I don't want to hurt you.
which song was this? What song was
When you
this?
Where I
love
Wanna
someone,
Be.
yeah. He left her.
That was
Because he knew before.
Treat them bad.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
why he was like standing outside the window
Right.
while she was like dining like a creep.
Like, oh, now you want to be creeping outside the window, huh?
Yeah. You left me, but now you stalking me. But that's exactly the song. I always wonder, like, I don't think people listen to the lyrics
I
of
don't
this
think
song.
so at all. Not at all.
They
But,
think it's like a love song. Like, it's not.
but going back to what you said, Vicky, and Alonzo, what you just said. Imagine sitting there and telling somebody, you know, hey, I love you, but, you know, A, B, C, D, and E, F, and G about you, I don't like. That's like, and it might be things that they pride themselves on, and you're telling them, yo, that this about you does nothing for you. Actually, this about you turns me off completely. You're like, that's hard to.
That's a hard conversation, but it's a real conversation. You got to keep it real.
But it goes back to what she said. We try to think for our partner or the person we dealing with.
That's what you
She
said
said
to me,
it.
yeah.
If I tell him this, he gonna smack the whatever out of me. But you don't really know that. But we try to think for our partner. If I tell her this, I ain't gonna have nowhere to live.
And immediately you're on the defensive. So
Exactly.
anything they say,
Yup.
you're ready to fight back against it because you already decided this is how they're going to answer.
Just
like,
like
yo,
when,
what the hell?
when they're crying.
Yeah.
Why you crying? See, this is why I ain't want to tell you nothing. See, I didn't do that. I was like, I'm sorry.
Here I was trying to protect you by not telling you I was cheating on you with your sister. And you
Wow.
crying. And you crying.
You crying.
No, but that's on my end. That's honestly the main reason why I never said anything, because in my head I was already creating the dialogue and the reactions on how I would go, and I'd be like, oh fuck, I can't say anything, you know, because then like there was another situation where I was dating someone and you know I ended up cheating and whatnot, and like I didn't want to say anything because I was like, damn, he's already been cheated on before. I don't want to add on to the pain. I don't want to be the person.
But you already didn't.
Exactly.
It's like, this is all the afterthoughts of consideration are always after the fact.
For your
Exactly.
well-being, I'm just not going to tell you. Like, yo, we are horrible people. I'm joking.
No, I think that once you start to just like internalize it, like I said, growing from it, because that was the whole thing too. Like that whole saying about cheaters always gonna cheat. There is truth to that because a lot of people don't take that inventory within themselves. Like, okay, why am I cheating? Like, what the hell's going on? And they don't do that work. That needs to be done to really, truly eradicate that behavior. That's why cheaters always cheat. It's not because you're just like destined to cheat. No, you're human. Like, you're gonna make mistakes, but that doesn't mean you're destined to constantly make the same mistake over and over. If there's true self-reflection, you will be forced to grow up from it. And it doesn't happen instantly. Like I was eating with my friends on Friday, and we were talking about this, and we were talking about like really how long does it take to like grow from some shit like this. And I said, at the very least, at the very minimum, I say like 2 years. For real. Because you spend a lot of time going back and forth about yourself. It's like we just had this whole conversation about how hard it is to just be honest with yourself. I think it takes at least 2 years for you to actually start being honest with yourself before you can start picking up your behaviors, like trying to fix those behaviors. Because first you have to be, like, I guess, one with yourself and who you really want to be. And then you can start noticing the behaviors that prevent you from being that person, which you can then start fixing. Like, okay, I just did this. I noticed it. Next time I'm more aware to not do it again. But I feel like you really got to work on yourself for like at least 2 years.
It's a process.
Be honest with yourself.
Longer?
For years. Oh, no. It's longer. I'm saying minimum, you got to be at least working 2 years to start noticing behaviors to fix it. But I mean, fully fixed? No, hell no. It's not 2 years.
Yeah.
That
No,
take a lifetime.
And I think it's with us, it's a generational thing.
It is a generational thing,
you know
too,
what I'm
as
saying?
well.
That's
Yeah.
what we getting from our mothers and fathers. You know what I'm saying? So
that's what I'm saying. It's a lot to unpack. So,
because my mother told me stories about my father, like slept with her girlfriends, and, stuff like that. But I seen my mother with different guys. You know what I'm saying? So I got it from both of them. But then it comes at a point where self-realization comes into play. But that didn't come into play when I just was tired, man. It was just so much going on with me. You know what I mean? I just got tired. I was angry, and then how I would do it, you start an argument. Hey, why such and such? And leave. You should go over here, get some cookie. That's what I started arguing. It'd be stupid, real retarded stuff.
Why the cabinet door open?
Yeah.
I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Just walks out. Go get some
So,
cookies.
I do that. Then there were days I would take off. I'd stay over, have a whole day with this person. And then I leave, go, back to the routine. So it's a generational thing, working on yourself. But you have to, like Vicky said, you got to recognize that with yourself. You have to hold yourself accountable. I did this. You know what I'm saying? That's where it starts at. And then,
and then
like
work your way back.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, you have to own it and then work your way back. Like, yo, what the hell got me to do this? And why would I do this? And that's what I'm saying. Like, at minimum, for you to just start being able to do that, it takes you at least 2 years.
Well, see, I feel like that's where I'm at now. Because, like I said, like, I was never one, like, I never thought of myself as a person who would like, I'm about to be out here. Like, I just never, I never condone that. I never would ever want to put myself in that position. But then it's like, that's where I'm at. Like, I'm looking back like, how the hell did I, like, where was the switch that I was just like, you know what? Who gives a damn? I'm about to be out here. I don't care.
Yeah,
like,
that takes some time. That's why, like, when people, when I, or not even just people, when I have the conversation with like friends or like friends of a friend, like I'll go over my friend's house and it'll be like other people there and they'll be talking about like infidelity and people cheating and I'm like, yo, I mean, if you want to stay, of course, that's like always, because they're like, oh, would you stay? And I'm like, if you're willing to, if the other person is really saying they're gonna work on it, just know that you're going to be there 2 to 3 years just in limbo, because that person got to do some real shit. Like, they got to do some real work. And if they're not going to get any professional help for it, you're going to be in limbo for the next 3 years. So if for the next 3 years you're ready to just put up with hell, then, stay. If you feel like they're worth it, then, that's your choice. But just letting you know that true work, that doesn't come. It's not like, oh, I'm, a year later, like, y'all gonna still be arguing about the same shit from a year before, because it's not just, I cheated with you on so-and-so and that's all you have to fix. Like, no, there's a lot of unpacking that goes all the way to how they were raised and who they saw and what they was around and what influenced them. Like, it's a lot of shit. Yeah. And if they're not gonna get professional help, just letting you know, you're gonna be living in miserable hell for a long time.
The triggers. Before
you finally like start to come through that. Yeah. So that's why I hate like that saying like cheaters always gonna cheat, because that's not true. Like, it's not true. But cheaters are selfish. They're selfish as fuck, and they're coming from a selfish place, and they are the most important person to themselves in those moments. Like, they are not thinking about you.
That's funny you said triggers. I'm like, there's triggers. When we hear that word triggers, we think about a certain way of being triggered. And you saying that, I was like, wow, there's triggers that could make us do negative things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because of how I was raised or things I saw. When I see my partner do X, Y, Z, that for me, that's justifying me saying, or that makes me say, you know what, let me go do this. Because, you know, with my mom and my dad, not saying my mom and dad, but in general, my mom and my dad would step out when mom argued too much with him. So now when I'm in a situation, I'm triggered, and now I'm going to go do that behavior. So, you know, I'm amazed at being triggered to do like negative behavior, you know, like do like bad habits.
Yeah, and like we're obviously not raised to do those things.
Yeah, but it's in there. Yeah,
our behavior definitely raised, like their behaviors raised us just like ours raised our children. And that's something worth noting when you're working on yourself if you have children. Like shit, I gotta be like, now that I'm aware of myself, now you're really thinking about like, oh, I just did this in front of my kid. Let me open that dialogue and explain to them what's going on, instead of just like our parents, I felt, always left us in like, go figure that shit out. Like, oh, like, no, I'm a kid, but I'm not stupid. Like, I totally get what the hell's going on.
But that's that next level of like me telling you, hey, I cheated. That's so hard to do. But me now turning to the child you created and say, hey, you know how much daddy and mommy love each other? Well, daddy, like, that's all. Like
that's, yeah.
That should kill you to say that, you know? That's that next level of, it's so hard to have that honest conversation, whether it's with the person you cheated or the people who were affected by you cheating. And so as easy as it sounds to just be honest with somebody, it's tough to be honest.
You know, and honestly, the hardest thing, and this is also a conversation that people don't have, I feel that if people stood with the person they cheated on and stood with them to really feel the pain they have bestowed upon that person, and if they really care about them, they will never cheat again.
Yeah.
Like, because
facts.
You don't want to, like, that is horrible to know you brought on so much pain. One is humbling as fuck, because you're like, shit, wow, I am such a major piece of shit. But if you stand there and you're with them, because now not only do you have to work on yourself, but you have to help this person that you have torn apart by being so selfish. If you had to stay there and help them get back to who they were before you did this to them, you would never do this again, because that shit is real work. And what happens is a lot of people get that pass, because then they break up and then they're like, fuck it, I just move on to the next person. Or now my side chick is going to be my main chick, so that means I need a new side chick. They're just going to keep doing it. So
how is it that goes? People always say, what was it? You know, like, lose them how you got them? Something like that.
You lose them how you got them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought it was surprising when the side piece that becomes the main is shocked and appalled when they get cheated on. You're like, bro, you know what it was.
You hit them with the same line when you first met. You know what it is, and then it's like, you know what it was.
Oh, you the victim now. Okay. What's funny, the whole time that we're talking, I'm like, some listeners are realizing the gems you guys are spitting, because they're like, damn, how do I cheat and get away with it? Blame mom and dad.
Taking everything they shouldn't from
you.
You
send the messages, not her.
Yeah.
Start random arguments so you can leave the house.
Yeah.
We're giving people gems on how to cheat, like, and not get
caught. No. Not get caught. I'm joking. You're going to get caught.
Or not get caught right away.
Not get caught right away. Or you might get caught right away.
No, you're going to get caught. Like, it doesn't matter when. You're just going to get caught. So just own up to that shit and grow the fuck up.
Yeah. Like, this is going to come out. Who knows? A person might come out and be like, yo, so you really did that?
The one that didn't know.
Out there. Exactly.
They're going to be like,
is this about me?
That was definitely about me, and we need to talk in person.
Man, people right now texting their person they're dating. They're like, how come you always text me and I don't get to text? Like, but, you know, okay, so we're talking about all these reasons, like the whole, like, stuff about being insecure, and that's why you do it, or you got to work on yourself. I feel like I don't want to feel like though as though we're giving a pass to those people who honestly are just people who cheat, who you there are those who just cheat because they just aren't happy with their person, their relationship.
That's not the person's, but that's not their fault. Like the other person,
Wait, it's not whose fault. It's not whose fault.
They're not happy in the relationship.
Or
leave.
But they'll just cheat. They'll just go ahead and cheat and keep the person. Because some people just feed. Some people feed off
that. But that's not
the
other person's fault.
That's what I'm saying. It's not.
Wait, when you say other person, what are you talking about?
The person that is getting cheated on.
No. I'm not blaming that person. I'm saying that there are some people who like. I just get off on doing shit like that. I just get off on having this person and having somebody.
But it still circles back to eventually you have to look at yourself. Mm-hmm. I truly don't see anybody really being happy at doing that. Like for real being happy.
I'm joking.
No, that's just
the
instant gratification of like in that moment I'm living my life, I'm living my best life, I do what I want. But in the long term, when they're by themselves, how he was saying earlier, like there's one facade for when you're in front of people, but when you're by yourself, it's a whole different story. Those people are not truly happy. Mm-mm. That's why the shit's a mess. Mm-hmm. Like at the end of the day, no matter which way you spin it or which way you tell it, it just goes right back to that person. Like everything, you are. Like it's like that saying. It's not what happens to you, it's how you respond to it. That's literally it. Like everything comes from you. So at what point do you stop blaming everybody else for it and like start taking responsibility? And like that's why the cheaters will always cheat. Those people will always cheat because they are too busy going like this. Mm-hmm. Like it was you. She tempted me. He tempted me.
So is there ever okay? Yes,
I fucking hate that.
Yes,
she tempted me. Shit.
So yes, the cheater is wrong for cheating, right? For whatever reason. Is there ever a time when we all be like, you know what, you or that person led him or her to cheat? Hear me out. No. Hear me out. We definitely have all had like some shows that we probably watched where we got so happy when the person who was being wronged in the relationship finally moved on and went with the person who we feel they should have been with, right? We had that situation. We'd be like, yeah, I'm glad he, whether it's a telenovela that we watch or a soap opera that we watch or some show that we watch, we get happy.
Ooh, like Scandal.
Yeah. Oh, prime example. We hate cheaters. We can't stand that. But we're so happy
they love Olivia.
We're so happy.
Loved Olivia.
Listen.
I loved Olivia.
I remember the episode when the brother was trying to marry her.
Yeah.
Oh,
she said,
yes.
I don't like this. I like pain. That's what she said. She like hurt. Mm-hmm. She don't want the perfect, the good life. Because that's what she experienced. So it's not a cop-out. That's what happened. That's what she saw. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
At no time did any of us be like, yo, Fitz needs to push Olivia aside and be honest with Melly. Melly, what's her name?
Melly.
And work it out with his wife. No, we were all like, yeah, girl.
No, not necessarily work it out with his wife. Just like, grow the fuck up.
Okay. Wait.
Just be like, I don't want to be with you. And then go be with Olivia.
Okay, so to go back to what I was saying.
Like, then,
To go back to what I was saying, there were times when we felt like, because of how just of a horrible person Melly was, we were okay with it. So there are times when we might have a friend or whatever that we know, yo, this guy or this girl he or she is with is just horrible for them. And when they tell us that, yo, that other night, me and my trainer or whoever, random example, I don't know, my trainer. Yeah. Me and my trainer.
That's so like American Housewife.
Yeah. Me me and this person that we felt is good for them. This happened because we were drinking or we had an awkward moment.
Oh,
we'll all be like, we'll all be happy for them because we feel like, you know what, you deserved better. So yes, we're condoning the fact that you stepped out on the. So there are times when we will be okay with blaming the victim, I guess, blaming the person who got cheated on. Am I wrong?
Well, no. In my case, that was kind of like what happened. Like when some of my because obviously I wasn't out here like, yo, I did, but like of course I told a few people, and when I told them knowing the kind of relationship that I was in and the kind of person I was with, they were like, do you, bitch? I was like, okay. No.
Yeah, but in retrospect, I get what you're saying because, that does happen. But,
it's still not okay.
That's not okay.
Because I would tell them, I'm like,
honest,
yeah, I'm like, you know, it wasn't right, but it did happen, you know? Like, don't sit here and cheer me on either, because it's not, at the end of the day, it's not okay. Like, nobody deserves to be cheated on.
And then how do you, like, okay, so so we've cheated, we see our friends cheating, how do you approach that conversation? Like, do you approach that conversation to your friend? You see your friend cheating and you're like, yo, listen.
Well, I was...
As a person that has cheated, and they know it, like, bitch, ain't this the pot calling the kettle?
Nah, but see, I was that person. Like, especially with some of our cousins. Like, I would tell them. I'd be like, yo.
What Gianna did?
I'm like, yo.
She's talking about the other side.
I'm like, yo, you can't be out here doing that.
No,
oh, yeah.
But nah, I'd be like, yo, like, you can't be out here doing it. And they're like, I'm like, okay. All right. We'll see how that turns out for you. And of course it never turns out.
It has, like I said, all these years, and not one person has ever been that smooth. Like, why do you think it'll be you this time?
To kind of touch on your question, honest question, Alonso, you know Vicky, you know me. You find out I'm cheating. Are you saying anything to Vicky?
No, I'm gonna approach you.
Guy code.
It's not guy code. It's not guy code because it's not guy code. It's not his responsibility to tell me. That's your responsibility. Mm-hmm. You should be telling me.
And then it just gets messy. Like, at the end of the day, that's not really his business.
Yeah, like, it's not his responsibility to tell me. That's yours. Mm-hmm. I would hope that his conversation to you would be like, yo, you need to man the fuck up and tell me.
Yeah, like, inspire your ass to say something.
Yeah. Most guys would be like, don't get caught. That's their way of saying, yo, be careful. We should stop. We'd be like, just don't get caught. Don't do nothing stupid.
Unfortunately, that's how most of those conversations go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Between males and their well, not even males. Sometimes with females too.
Yeah,
it goes both ways.
Like, it goes both ways.
It goes both ways. Sometimes that's just how the conversations go. Like, oh well, don't get caught. Like, but then that goes to show how the other person is too. Like, obviously they don't care enough to be like, yo, you really shouldn't be doing. Like, that just goes to show that they would probably do the same thing.
Yeah, because I was just gonna say that, like, sometimes when you're in those, like, beginning stages of, like, self-reflection, if you're really trying to change, you have to also take into account the people you surround yourself with. And realize that maybe your friends of, like, all these years, they're not really the best thing for you, because they're promoting this just negative life that you're not really trying to live.
But if they're looking out for you, that's a true friend that's looking out for you and be like, yo,
that's an enabler.
Just tell her you with me because you're my boy. I will lie.
That's an enabler.
That's an enabler. Quality friend.
A friend is somebody that pushes you to be the best version of yourself.
Absolutely.
But will help you out in a lie. Quality friend.
That too. They will. But I wouldn't do that. I'll tell you, yo, why you doing it?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Why? Leave her alone.
Yeah.
Or if you can't stop messing with her, tell Vicky you won't be alone.
Yeah.
But she could hurt me.
You know what I'm saying?
No. But
Vicky gonna beat my ass.
But I guess for the person who is cheating, and all your boys, your girls are giving you this mature advice and stuff. You're, I guess, like you guys said, I'm making up your responses for me.
Yeah, you're having the whole discussion.
Yeah, and justifying. No. But here's why I can't tell her, bro. I can't tell her that. Like,
yeah, you can't get that with me.
Yeah,
you can't get that.
Yeah, because I feel like then a lot of people just lack that friend that's like not giving them that way out, and they're just like, nah,
Absolutely.
You're full of shit.
Yeah.
Nope, you're full of shit.
But some people don't like having those kinds of friends. They get offended.
Yeah, but those people also stay immature for the rest of their life. So, like, I'm like, I can, like, name some uncles. But...
At them. No, I'm kidding. It was funny. So
Ramon Ortega.
Damn, should I blank that out? Should I blank that out? Like, edit it? Damn, okay. We're just saying full first name, last name. Damn, but anyway. So, I'm not trying to be stupid when I say this, right? I'm about to be stupid.
He's like,
AKA about to
say that, like,
something
yo,
stupid.
I don't mean to be offensive, but I'm about to be offensive as fuck.
Because in my head, I was trying to say to myself, how do we end this conversation by giving like a couple minutes to a pro cheater conversation? I was trying to make it make sense in my head. No, but I feel like cause some people like, okay, going back to the whole thing of the Olivia Pope scandal example that we gave, there are some people who are probably cheating, and they're cheating because like the person they're with put them through hell.
Okay.
So I was like, is there any like good advice we can give to a cheater or a person who's cheating? Well, other than stop doing that, for the ones who are like, you know, you're in a shitty situation where you're in a shitty situation, and it caused you to, you know, gravitate towards someone who was giving you those things you were missing, whatever. But they're still staying in that. Like, what do we say to that person? Like,
leave.
It's not easy for them to do because they might have that comfort.
It's very complex, like, because then you really have to go to the root. Like, you really have to go to the root of why it is that you're doing that. Yeah.
No. But I'm talking about the person now who, well, there's a different reason. It sounds weird to justify cheating. There's a different reason for this person stepping out. This person is now stepping out.
It doesn't matter.
At the end of the day,
that
you
a lot
always
of
got to
people
go back.
Yeah, that's the point that a lot of people miss. It does not matter the reason.
Absolutely.
You have to take responsibility for what you're doing. There is no justification for cheating, cause the easier resolution to cheating is leaving. Just fucking leave. It's hard. Yeah, it's hard and it's complex, but I've never heard of cheating being the solution to a complex situation.
It just makes it more complex.
Exactly. So if you're having an issue with a complex situation, with this complex situation, where does it make sense to add on another complex situation? So that's not the solution. I feel like we've been, what's that word? We've been not trained, but
Programmed.
Conditioned.
Yeah, conditioned to think that the solution is let me hold on so that it will work itself out. That's one, thinking that things are just gonna work themselves out. They're not gonna work themselves out. You have to work them out. Like, you have to work yourself out. You have to work that person. You have to help that person work themselves out from what you did, and then you have to work the relationship out. But also, just thinking that, like, oh, I'm just gonna hold on to this while it works itself out. But I'm not happy here, so I'm gonna go get what I need over here from this person, and, you know, it'll eventually balance itself out. Like, that's not the solution. Is leave. Like, it's either stay and start having those conversations or just leave. It's really like grow up, be an adult, because that is hard to have those conversations, or just leave. Just be like, yo, this is not what I want. This is not, you know, this rough patch is showing me that I just don't want to be with you, and then just leave. Like, and leave for real. Like, don't leave back and forth, but like, leave for real. So it is hard. It's a way easier said than done, but there's no justification for cheating. If the person's shitty, then just leave.
And that's one thing, like, being that
if you're cheating to just get revenge, and you just don't want, and you
like, you really deserve to be alone.
That's what I was gonna say. I'm like, and you really want to make the person suffer.
Yeah.
You want to say, like, oh,
like, you
you,
wicked,
I want you
gotta be alone.
Then you're just like, you're clearly in an ugly space, and at the end of the day, you're still gonna leave. Just leave.
Yeah, like that. Like, me being that when I've been in those situations, being that I've never had the confidence, the courage, the strength to sit there and be honest about what I did, I just leave. I'm like, you know what? I can't even talk about this. I'm just gonna go. Like, yes, because it's better to do that than, because then you're gonna sit there and then you're gonna feel guilty, and then it's just like,
and if you don't want to deal with it, just leave. It's true, because you can either sit there. That's what I'm saying. If you really love that person and you really want to work it out, you will suck it up. Like how you were saying that you had to sit there and just be like, I'm sorry. Like, you can't even say anything.
Yeah.
You would, those are your choices. Stay and work that out. Because if you're really staying to really work it out, you're now discussing everything in past tense. Like, moving forward, as you're moving forward, it's for a better future. Or just leave.
See, you got both aspects. he was honest
and stayed,
and I was
you were
not,
like, nah, fuck that, I'm not
but
having this
I left.
conversation and I'm out. But in no situation was cheating the answer or the justification for anything.
I thought about this a story of a couple who, when like, looking back on it now, you know, you kind of see it, you see the full picture. So pretty much, one person in a relationship, their way of, I guess, introducing the fact that they cheated, or somehow confronting it with their partner, was by offering the suggestion that they turn their marriage into an open marriage. And it wasn't until later on and realizing, oh, that was just your way of introducing your side piece into your marriage.
Wait, this is a real thing?
Oh, it's a real thing, and you know what I'm talking about.
I have no idea who you're talking
I'll tell you
about.
after.
Because I'm like, wait,
So-
is this imaginary? Because it sounds like a really good show.
Yo, ABC, hit me up.
Shonda Rhimes.
Word.
Get that check.
Nah.
She needs to replace Scandal.
Nah, I gotta call Tyler Perry. I'm about to go on Beats. Medea cheats. No, I'm joking.
Oh no, he
God.
killed her.
No, so basically, so the wife, in my opinion, looking back at it now, the wife was cheating, and instead of being fully honest with the husband, she brought the conversation of, hey, maybe let's talk about an open marriage, like as though I'm coming to you like, oh, random idea, not to say I'm doing anything. How do you feel about open marriage? When that was just her way of saying, okay, now that we established we're gonna have open marriage, oh, here's this random person I'm now meeting. No, that person's
that's
been
fucked
there.
up.
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
That's super grimy. Because
Not
then
creative though.
no, but see,
that
then
is creative, but it is grimy.
but when the truth of that comes out,
It
the
will.
pain is gonna be even deeper.
And it did. And it did.
It did?
It did come out.
I have no idea who you're talking
You
about.
know what I'm talking about.
No, I have no idea.
Because it's like, not only did you cheat, but you created this grand scheme to keep the whole thing going.
Yeah.
And
Like, that's
to have my
wild.
participation in
And I
it.
think
Yeah, and then
that's-
you
yeah.
had my participation in it, like everything was all
And then,
peachy.
and
like,
And
at
that's
what
the-
point were you looking out for me?
yeah.
Like
And that's
damn,
the-
you're that desperate to keep this person around? Like, just fucking go with them.
And I think that's a great leading to, I guess, next episode or next 2 episodes conversation. Is the next part about the people who
have
cheating
been
on?
cheated on.
Well, shout out to y'all. Shout out to y'all
Yes, thank you so
for
much.
joining us in this conversation.
I think you guys will be the only ones who we can see their
Won't.
face, know their names, hear their voices as they naturally are.
Unless
Everybody else is like, yo, no.
unless
Change
we,
my
un-
voice. We're going to have some real talk.
unless we send y'all the episode, the video, and the audio,
And you're like, nah,
you
nah,
hear
nah,
it,
nah,
and you're
nah,
like,
nah,
yo, I just played it with my partner, and yo, can you blank my like? Can you just blank me out? Like, no, my audio and my video, just blank me out.
Put like a circle above them and then just like have them there, but just like circled in blue.
You're like, no, fam. Every time I talk, just make it sound like beep. Every time I don't want it to be my content, my voice, my being. You know what? I wasn't there.
Why even do it though?
Huh?
Why even do it?
Right.
Exactly.
Let me tell you, I had a hard time getting male participants.
Because you know what? Because
A lot of male participants.
It's
like,
forcing them to be honest.
Because having cheated,
and that's what I thought. I was like,
shameful.
oh my god. Yes. No. Having to own up to
To own up
having
to cheating. Yeah.
Because
It's
cheating is
shameful.
not shameful. Because
Cheating is fun.
if cheating is shameful, then they wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
But it's having to have that conversation and other people knowing that you cheated. There's just a hell no. I don't want to put my business out there. Like, no, bro, your business been out there.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
think people don't know, but they know.
People be knowing,
'Cause
they just don't say nothing.
the side chick don't live in side chick land, or the side guy don't live in side guy land. He lives with a family. He got friends, and they talk like you talk.
You know what it is? I think that's what I was trying to get at. I agree. There's the insecurities that people have and the different things that they need to work on for themselves. But I feel like I didn't want some cheaters to get off. Because even with that, there's still something in you that gets a kick out of or there's a slight rush that some of them get.
With cheating?
Yeah, like
Yeah,
yes, there is
there's
the
a ru-
insecurity.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
obvious. There is a rush to it.
So don't be like, babe,
But
I
that's what I'm
hated
saying.
myself
That
while I was doing it.
excitement,
No, you loved
but
it.
like that excitement is the conversation that you need to have with your significant other, because you're
Yeah.
obviously lacking that in your
Excitement
relationship.
with that
And
person. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, to say like, oh no, we all feel bad when we do it.
Nah.
No, but it's just like, yo, you got to grow up and have that conversation with the person that you're with. Like, yo, I need more excitement. I need more of this. Like, you're not really doing it for me. You know, but don't come at them like, yo, I'm throwing this on you. Like, yo, you're not pleasing me in bed. Figure that shit out. Like, no, that's a conversation like, yo, we got to figure this out. Because I can't imagine that you're okay because I'm not okay. And, you know, like, make it like more of a we gotta solve this together and we will solve this together conversation.
You're the person who was cheated
on. As opposed
on.
to like turn me on.
But the person who got cheated on, you're like, wait, we gotta figure out you cheating on me?
No.
I'm just saying how they would hear. Like, oh,
no, because you're not hearing it.
No,
that's the point.
I'm just saying how some people hear it.
No. What I'm saying is that as opposed to cheating, to have that conversation. Instead of getting your rush somewhere else, have that conversation instead of cheating. It's not like, oh, now we got to figure it out after you cheated.
No.
That's what I'm saying. That conversation does happen if you stay. But then at that point, it's like, well, yeah, because you said you want to stay. So we got to figure this shit out.
Or along the same line, there's certain people who are like, oh, we got to figure this out. That's not working. Nah, I'm going to say how I am. You figure it out.
Then at that point, you leave.
Yeah.
And then it just goes right back to the, you leave so you don't cheat.
Or you cheat. I mean, I'm joking.
Vicky gonna beat your ass.
No, but I'm sure some people do have those friends that be like, yo, don't leave her. Just do what you got to do on the side, but keep your good woman.
I've heard that before.
Yeah,
I've heard that.
Yeah, people will do that. It's unfortunate.
Again, thank you guys for stopping by.
Yes, thank you.
Dropping gems and telling people how to cheat and not get caught right away, because you all get caught.
Now it's a y'all.
I'm joking. Y'all. You know, me, never cheated. I'm just cut that part out from the beginning where I said I cheated once. That awkward.
There's going to be like, I was never in the room.
That awkward moment where I guess you've cheated, you moved on. No, you cheated and either you moved on you've cheated, you moved on. But then like, it could be years later, it could be days later, seeing that person that you cheated on. Yes, you've both grown, but there's still that whole thing of, oh, we do know each other because, well, I cheated on you at that point. It's so like,
it's humbling.
Humbling.
That's that's what I was saying. Like, when you got to own up to that shit, it's humbling.
Thank you guys once again. This has been episode, whatever the number is. I'll insert the number here. 48?
Yeah.
Really? No. I think we did 48 already.
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Last episode with it's been a while. It's been a while since we recorded. Well, this has been another episode of the You. Wait. You guys want to tell people where they can find you online if they want to find you and scream at you for forgetting? Like, yo, fam, you got me caught, man.
They're gonna flag Belgie's page like that's the one.
This bitch be
she just cheats and leaves, yo.
But anyway, you guys
sounds terrible.
You don't have to. We'll plug you guys in the comments. Thank you guys. This has been another episode of the You, Me, We podcast.